day 23, though I have actually spent a couple of days here in Burra because the weather has been atrocious. Look at that. Compare it to when I first arrived. There has been a lot of rain, and Mount Brian, which I went over a few days ago, I think day 20, there was snow on that. This is South Australia and there was snow. The weather, absolutely awful. Anyway, the day before I arrived in Burra, absolutely did not enjoy it at all. It was fence line the whole way and long grass, so yeah, not overly fun. I have to divert because it's flooded. Yeah, wasn't a fun day. I was glad to get into Burra. Stayed at the Burra Hotel, pretty good, $70 for a single room. That was a pretty pokey room, but that's alright. Yeah, and then stayed here, sheltered, beautiful thunderstorm, watching the lightning and the heavy rain. It's nice when you're inside. Yeah, today it's still cold, but the weather is improving. Today hopefully there's no rain. Tomorrow 50% chance of rain, and then seems to be improving after that. Right, 25k to the first water point. To this morning, still pretty cold. Having a late start, it's 10 o'clock. Had a nice breakfast at the cafe, but it's still not into double digits yet. It's 8 degrees at the moment, and tomorrow maximum should be up to about 14, and then slowly it starts to get better after that. Wow, this was almost nothing. Look at it now. Might get wet feet today depending on where the trail goes. Right, leaving the creek, following the streets to get out of the town. It is 6 days from here to get to my next resupply point, which is the city of Tanunda. Right, leaving the town and the sealed roads. I have a feeling I'm probably going to get my feet wet today. Fair bit of damage to the roads from this recent rain. Well, the locals are just they are just ready for the rain to stop now. For South Australia people to be saying that's pretty unusual. Alright, and onto the fence line and long grass. Not yay. If only I wasn't so stubborn, I wouldn't still be on this trail. No, zero excitement anymore. It's just dread of how bad it's going to be. That's the last of Burra. And look at that. Fence line, fence line, fence line, fence line. Even though there's a lovely track there, we'll stick with the fence line. There's obviously a sign missing where you're meant to turn from the fence line onto the track, because here's a track marker here. I just wanted to come up and have a look, and yeah, so apparently this is the track, not the fence line, so I take it back. Alright, can I keep my feet dry? It's the challenge. Yep. Yeah, I think I'll be fine for this one. Mud's actually pretty, well, it's not really mud, the dirt's quite solid actually. Right. I'll be happy with the full dam. Looks like I'm getting wet feet. Farmer came along in a vehicle and he's turned around, not even attempting to cross here. Oh dear. Went right to the very end there, and the grass is quite long, and it was enough that I was able to pretty much keep my feet dry. Just a couple of splashes on them. See? Dry. Hi! This is a little monotonous, gently rolling green farmland. However, the positives, I'm on a track and not a fence line, and it's quite windy still, but the wind is coming either from my side or from behind, so I'm getting a lovely assist with the wind. Just, yeah, quite nice. Makes walking quite effortless when you're getting a big push in the back. So the excitement is these occasional puddles, just getting past them, keeping dry. Apart from that, it's just time to drift off with my thoughts. A bit of a view. We're actually up quite high, I didn't realise that. I have been climbing steadily, but such a gentle climb, it's barely noticeable. Time for a panorama, that's where I've come from. A few hills out that way, but then coming this way where I'm heading starts to get pretty flat, and in the distance it's even flatter. So I am heading down to this main road, and then 2k on the road, and then across some fence lines and back on some roads, heading that way. Look at that, isn't that pretty? Actually got a field of flowers, heaps of them, both sides of the track. They're at the end of their lifespan. Oh, there's a couple that are actually looking alright. They're looking a bit ragged from the wind and the heavy rain, but that's nice. Good way to brighten the mood as it started to shower. Just some light spatters of rain. Oh, pretty. Alright, up the road. Now walk on the road for 2 kilometres. So Tanunda is the next fire season. Oh, hello. Yeah, Tanunda is the next fire season line, which is you need to be clear of it by the 15th of November. And today is the 2nd. I'm estimating 6 days to get there, so I will be clear of the line. I'm really impressed with Australian drivers. Whenever I've been on the road walks like this, the cars always give me a lot of room. And that last car was almost on the other side of the road, giving me so much room. I always wave when they do that, and everyone waves back. But yeah, New Zealand, I don't recall the drivers giving me very much room at all, if any. So there's a big difference between the two countries. We're leaving the main road now and heading onto this dirt track, and that's basically shortcutting across to a road which actually goes out and across there. So a few K on this dirt road till we get to the next road. How far around the head goes. It's more like a bird of prey. Interesting. Little patches of blue sky, and it may look warm, but it's not. It's just made it to 11 degrees now, and it's 11:15. So still got a couple of more degrees. It's meant to get up to a whole 13 degrees today. I didn't make it through that unscathed. It doesn't look like much, but that mud is very soggy, and so that has come up in. My feet don't feel wet though, which is good. I think the mud is just about to come in. Alright, continuing along this track beside a field of crops. It's actually quite nice being down here. It's sheltered from the wind. That wind has got really cold, so I've got my wind jacket on at the moment, trying to keep warm. Oh wow, this is fresh. This is the last rain has completely washed this away. Right. Seen the water damage I'm very glad I decided to sit out the rain in the hotel. It would not have been fun walking. And off that road and onto a different road. So just come over that stile and I am now on this road for the next 11 kilometres, which will bring me to the campsite. So making pretty good time just because it's been on roads and tracks all day. So despite my late start, I'm probably going to have an average distance day. Well, this is not the most interesting, so I have the audio book going because it's 3 hours of flat road with not much changing. That's a fatty. Look at the size of that one. Interesting footprints. Not quite sure what they are. These snail shells are quite pretty. 2 hours later, scenery's the same. I'm on a dirt road, it's flat, it's straight. Got paddocks to the side and crops to the other side, and the hills in the distance. And I've got another hour of this. I am now leaving this road after 11 kilometres, and the campsite is just in the trees up there, so less than 500 metres. Well, this is World's End walking campsite. It's a pretty unappealing campsite. So, and it is 3:10 because I've been on tracks and roads. I've made good time. So I am going to continue on. The next water point is 19 kilometres. So obviously I'm not getting there tonight, but I will push on for another few hours and then find a nice campsite. Hopefully the scenery is going to get a bit more interesting from here. Getting to the tree line and then following along in the creek bed where the tree line is, and then I'll be heading in a straight line, disappearing off in that direction. Right, come out of the paddock, and this is the World's End Reserve. Go and have a look at the map, but pretty much going that way and then following the creek line. So basically it's a campground, but still too early to be stopping. This creek looks pretty swollen as well. Hope I'm not having to cross it. You can see that this river is up. All the trees that are now underwater. And it is fast. Well, that's the trail. And it's significantly underwater, so I'll be looking for an alternate route. I think there is a road up here, so I think I'll end up walking along the road. And I have to check the map to see where there's a bridge, because I'm not getting across that river. Alright, so I'm the blue dot. And actually the trail marking has got me down to the river, but I meant to go along the river and cross it, but not at a bridge, so that's not going to happen. So I'm going to follow the road and then keep pushing forward to the main road, and there will obviously be a bridge across there, and then I'm on my way. Right, so I'm on a track, that's the river just down there. So the official trail has now come up onto this road. So that was only a small detour. Right, leaving this track, and I will see if there is a bridge. If not, then I'll be back on this track and taking the road. Right, so I am not crossing the river where I'm meant to. So back up to the track and a crossing at the road bridge. That is, yeah, quite a bit of extra water in there. Because of the light, this bird is actually beautiful colours, sort of iridescent. Yeah, I might have to backtrack a bit to get down to the road, and unfortunately it doesn't look like a bridge, but it does look like the current's a lot less. Look at the damage. It has just ripped up the road. Absolutely. Wow. So it hasn't rained for all day today, and it stopped raining yesterday at about 2 o'clock. So it's taken a while to come down. Wow. Alright. See if I can get across and keep my feet dry. I think I might actually. Right, it is now 1.6 kilometres on this road. And leaving the road and basically on this track until I hit the hills, and then I'm going in the gap between the hills. It's nice to be away from farmland. Look at that. I've got actual trees. So yeah, following along until we get to the hills, then going through the hills in a small gap between them. I love some of these fence posts. A lot of character. Not sure how much is actually stable they are. Oh yeah, that's pretty stable. Starting to get some interesting terrain ahead of me. Just going along the foothill until I get to the gap. Still on a track, but getting a bit rougher. Getting more interesting now. And the hills, rocky, much more interesting. There's a sign I haven't seen for a while. Walkers follow creek. Alright. Horrible grey sky, but I think I'm actually going under it and coming out into some much nicer looking sky. And out of the creek. Quite pleasant going through these streets. Oh, unfortunately I'm leaving the rocky area, and while it's still hilly, it's getting a bit gentler, not as rough. So I'm leaving this creek system now, come up over onto the saddle, really windy, and then I'm going to be going down this valley and then around the hill and then heading off that way. So it's about time I'm going to start looking for a campsite when I can find somewhere sheltered from this wind. Oop, that looks like a good camp spot. Clear bit and surrounded by trees, but not under trees. Alright. Nope, that space is not suitable. It's not as flat as it looked from a distance, so I'll keep going. And there was one flat bit, but it was quite exposed to the wind, so I'll keep going. Bit of an extended family there. Looks like at least 3 generations. Here's my tent site for the night. So the wind is coming from that direction, so there's quite a few trees which is blocking my wind, but nothing above the tent. It's going to fall down on me. Alright.